Hello, and welcome to Replay Value. Fate is home to a lot of memes. People die when they are killed, basically everything that Carnival Phantasm touches, and straight up that's part of what makes Fate such a great series, or vice versa. I wouldn't trade the memes for anything. Well, maybe the elimination of Apocrypha from the canon or the ability to watch Fate Extra without getting bored, but there's one scene that gets memed on pretty hard which I think is straight up unfair to the franchise, because it's done to keep visual engagement high and maintains narrative value. That'd be from Fate Zero's first episode, and the scene is the introduction of Kotomine Kirei, or I talk about cinematography a decent amount on this channel, and that's because it is so easy to overlook how something like lighting affects our enjoyment and understanding of a scene. Exposition can be wicked hard to do properly, especially when you're dropping a lot of it all in one go. Hell, the phrase info dump exists for a reason. And I've talked about in the past why varying shot types can keep a viewer visually engaged while getting through some lengthy and necessary exposition. I don't think Fate Zero does this perfectly by any means. It's about 47 minutes long after all. It would be a hell of an accomplishment if they maintained brilliance the whole way through. I won't even say the scene I'm talking about today is perfect, because the fact that so many people miss what it's going for is pretty indicative of a failing. Our establishing shot places us 3 years ago, a 5-year jump from our opening sequence in Italy, which is then followed by this shot. Tokiomi is facing towards the two Kotomines, placing him as the initial focus for the sequence. It gives him a sense of leadership and gravity as the most important person in the room. He raises his hand to show his command seals, which is immediately followed by Kirei doing the same. This small motion and the zoom onto the crimson markings keys the viewer in that this is why the group has assembled here, and subtly places Kirei and Tokiomi as equals in at least one regard. Our next shot is a wide shot, giving us a lot of space between the two church members and Tokiomi, again indicating leadership on the part of the individual facing the other two, giving him the authority right back as he answers Kirei's question about the Holy Grail War. There's also a subtle lighting gradient in the shot. Tokiomi's next to a bright lamp, which diffuses as we go further right, along with bright windows on the left of the shot. We get two nice close-ups of Kirei and Tokiomi, placing them on opposite sides of the shot to make the viewer's eye move across the screen. Risei steps forward, giving us a look at the differences in their attire, with Risei's attire and larger cross becoming of someone more established in the church. The following shot of wine being poured into a glass, or maybe more importantly the sound of it, immediately brings the focus back to Tokiomi, as though he's vying for supremacy even in terms of just screen time and focus. At this point, the spinning begins. It's the first time you really see the checkerboard pattern in the floor, which is a good indicator of what this scene is outlining, a strategy. Since it drops the plan and goal in one fell swoop, those of you who are paying attention already know what category this is: off the rails. But the spinning is multifaceted. Obviously, on the face of it, it's attempting to create something visually appealing through cutting and tracking. But that's not the only element at play here. Thematically, it's setting up this partnership between Tokiomi and Risei, how they're both working towards the same goal, and that Kirei's at the center of making sure that the strategy succeeds. Since Tokiomi and Risei are moving in the same direction, equidistant from each other, there's an equal pull on Kirei from both sides, maintaining visual and thematic equilibrium. There's also a hypnotic element to it, the way the characters move so smoothly against the background in practically perfect lockstep. It places you in a trance, which is fitting in this case as opposed to other shows that have a tendency to place you in a trance-like state, because here Tokiomi and Risei want Kirei to be susceptible to their whims. They want his cooperation with the plan that they've made. With the way that it's structured, it's like a drain. Everything is going towards Kirei, including the focus. He's always at the center, even on profile shots. Our cuts to Tokiomi and Risei are centered on Kirei's position as they look towards him. As I said at the top, this is Kirei's introduction. It might also introduce the other two characters, but he's the focus narratively, even as Tokiomi attempts to hold leadership and focus within the context of the scene. The end of the spin places the three characters in line, with Kirei again in the middle, Tokiomi and Risei still aligned in their counterclockwise direction. We end with a return to focus on Kirei, even as Tokiomi is the last one to speak, zooming in on his eyes, just in case you weren't sure who you should have been paying attention to. The aftermath of the spinning is a great bit of foreshadowing. Tokiomi and Risei stand high above watching Kirei leave, as though they've guaranteed their preferred end result. The two masterminds of the strategy gleeful that Kirei is on board, which Risei never doubted because of his belief that his son would die if the church asked it of him. But as the sequence comes to a close and we return to Kirei, we watch this man walking away from the two and raising his hand above his chest, placing the command seals in front of his cross, suggesting that being a master might eventually come before his devotion to his faith, and in turn, his mission. Again, I don't think this scene is perfect, but I do think it had one clear goal in mind, a strong focal point on Kirei, even as Tokiomi dominates the conversation. And in that regard, it definitely succeeds, with a good use of cinematography to keep the exposition engaging and thematically relevant. Even though the actual construction of the shots is somewhat lacking, in terms of framing and design that could have deepened the thematic setup or foreshadowing, it's still a strong scene, which is what I expect from Ufotable's Fate productions, even if we'll just meme them to death afterwards. There's more to talk about from Fate Zero's pilot episode. Well, honestly, the entire series, especially some political philosophy questions, which is more my jam than Dead or Alive's one-hit wonder, but we'll save that for some time in the future. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like and comment with your thoughts, subscribe for more analysis pieces, and follow me on Twitter for updates about future projects, link in the description. We'll be back real soon with another video, but until then, thanks for watching.